a labyrinth of underground passages, chambers hollowed out in salt, the fascinating world of machines, equipment, and unique works of art, the world of greatness and beauty, magical places, a source of power. Salt is the symbol of life and immortality. It was used as a medicine and a cure. It protected from spoiling, possession by the devil, and the influence of evil forces. The history of salt commences in Wieliczka approximately 13.5 million years ago, and it is related to the Miocene Sea, which was located in the area. A warm climate, comparable to that of the Mediterranean, was conducive to the evaporation of water. Salt settled at the bottom in the form of 2 layers. In consequence, a bed with a length of 10 kilometers was created. Items of everyday use left in the salty water were covered with beautiful salt crystals. People who visit the exhibition of the Krakow Salt Works Museum have the opportunity of following the process of salt production, the entire production process, not only of rock salt, that's to say from the 13th century, but also earlier methods applied in the area of the Krakow Salt Works already in prehistoric times. It is worth emphasizing that the collection in our museum features a model of the oldest salt works discovered in Baryć near Wieliczka, which operated in the Middle Neolithic period, some 5,500 years ago. The brine was transferred from its source through ditches in the saltworks and then boiled over a fire in large clay pots. The thick liquid was put in smaller mugs and dried over fire. The history of production of white gold dates back to a period much more distant than the beginnings of the mine. Thanks to this important discovery, Wieliczka was included in the group of oldest European locations with documented production of salt. The mine in Wieliczka, known as Magnum Sal, the Great Salt, was mentioned in a document of Legate Idzie around 1127. It contains the oldest written information about evaporated salt. The oldest discovered mining shaft exhibited in the courtyard of the Saltworks Castle derives from the 13th century. It was an exploratory shaft. Rock salt in this place was confirmed at a depth of only 14 meters. The chamber in front of us is a historical exhibition. It tells the history of Krakow Salt Works and presents the beginning of salt mining, as well as documenting its extraction throughout the centuries. The person of Kinga, who was the blessed of the church at that time and the patroness of salt miners, is one of the 2 paintings by Jan Matejko displayed in the museum. Next to her is a salt bas-relief of Kinga's husband, Boleslaus the Bashful, which reminds us about the prince's contribution to establishing the foundations for an effective mining enterprise. During the reign of King Casimir the Great, in 1368, a statute was issued which regulated the operation of the Krakow Salt Works. In that period, the mines provided 1/3 of the royal treasury income. The history of Wieliczka presented in the museum goes back to the Middle Ages and constitutes a mirror for development of mining technologies, the shaping of work organization, management and the establishment of legal regulations in the industry.
Jego wartość polega przede wszystkim na tym, że zorganizowane zostało w oryginalnych, zabytkowych, historycznych wyrobiskach górniczych, w których
Its value relies primarily on the fact that it was organized in the original historical mining pits, where normal production and extraction of salt took place centuries ago. In relation to that, the most proper name for the museum would be the Underground Mining Museum. The museum features original mining equipment used both for horizontal and vertical transportation, as well as reconstruction of the mining bed, along with lighting and ventilation systems and a system for securing the mine, securing not in the contemporary sense of the word, but historical, that is, to protect the methods applied here from the 14th century until the 19th century, which are placed in the original authentic production places.
A więc chodzi o metody stosowane tutaj od XIV wieku właściwie do XIX stulecia.
The oldest and the largest so-called Polish treadmill, the only preserved machine in the unique collection of treadmills. It was powered by 8 horses. It could pull out salt weighing up to 2.5 tons in one go, yet only from a depth of 70 to 80 meters. During one day of work, 100 tons of salt were pulled to the surface in the form of salt loaves or fine salt in barrels. The machine derives from the 17th century. The first one was constructed in the middle of the 15th century. Initially, it operated only on the surface. 2 centuries later, it was transferred to the mine. The treadmill was subject to thorough maintenance. Thanks to this, it can still be operated. It comes to life once or twice a year, and just as happened centuries ago, the miners extracting salt work next to it.